Namaste, Jai Bharat. Let's talk about Manipur. Manipur is in the northeast, and couple of things are happening there. Not couple of things, many things are happening there. It did not start it just like that. See, as it is, as a matter of fact, the northeast India have many tribal states, and the tribesmen in the past also they had this inter tribal conflicts, which used to be the case because the tribes clan, they also had a warrior setup within each tribe, and the warriors have some job to do. And in the past, in ancient times, they used to be engaged in wars, battles. The Garo tribes, I have a lot of friends there. They are headhunters. They used to be known as headhunters. But if you look at Garos, they're very peaceful, straightforward, honest. This is honest characters. This is one thing with most of the tribes people. They're upright and straightforward. Very honest kind of people. Unpretentious there. I happened to teach there for almost 10 years. In my time, there was only one central university for the entire northeast. Subsequently, Arunachal University came, but that's much later. So I taught there for 10 years, and if personal contacts with many friends naturally. So Manipur is basically it's a place for the Meiteis. Meiteis name they give to Manipuris, and they are essentially Vaishnavites. They became Vaishnavites. I am talking about ancient times. They became Vaishnavites through a great saint known as Shankardev, great Vaishnavites, and they are very traditionally Vaishnavites. And Manipuris are great people. Lot of professors from Manipur. Professor Oinam Bhagat was Department Head of Philosophy in Jawaharlal University, Manipuri, a great friend of me. Dr. Kangam Ramesh is also teaching in JNU. He's my colleague, student, friend, everything. There are many people. And Milan is also teaching philosophy in Manipur. So they are essentially Vaishnavis, and they have a great cultural background. This is very interesting to see. The Manipuris have a dance form known as Manipuri dance. Manipuri dance, of course, belongs to the Natya Shastra of Bharatamani. All dances of Bharat are rooted in the text. Natya Shastra is it's a dance text of Bharatamani, and Manipuri also is based on Bharatamani. And Bharatamani's Natya Shastra took out the symbols, they symbolically express feelings, thoughts. They communicate through symbols. All dance forms, wonderful symbols, mudras they are called as. These mudras which Bharatamani used are from Yajurveda. That's how it is connected. Yajurveda uses mudras to express the Vedic suktas without uttering it. If you utter it, there's a possibility of attenuation influence. Accents can vary because Bharat is such a vast land, especially in ancient days. Such a great vast land, people with all kinds of mother tongues, plenty of mother tongue, and the mother tongue's influence can remain in another language when you speak. So to make it more perfect and pure, they went into this mudra system, symbolic. Yajurveda is that, and from there Bharatamani took over the dance, Natya Shastra, the theory of dances or the science of dance, if you can translate it into English that way. So they have a great dance, Manipuris, called as Manipuri dance, which is one of the classical dances of Bharat. Bharat has got more than one classical dance and also classical music, which is also more than one. Now, this classical dance, Manipuri, has some interesting aspects. They talk, the songs which they sing are from Gita Govindam. Gita Govindam is the relationship between, or the story of, or the romance of Radha and Krishna. When you go to Vrindavan or Mathura or that part of the nation, people, instead of saying Namaste, say Radhe Radhe. They respect Radha as Radha Rani, mother, Krishna's great lover. Pure love. That's why it's great, pure love. So, Radha Krishna relations. The Gita Govindam is written by a poet, Jayadeva, and Jayadeva wrote the Gita Govindam poetry in Sanskrit. Naturally, like many people have written in Sanskrit. But his mother tongue is not, of course, nobody's mother tongue is Sanskrit. Jayadeva's mother tongue was Odia. He is from Odisha, as we said today. He is from Odisha. Now, Manipuri dance uses the lyrics of Gita Govindam written by an Odia and perform in the traditional, of course, Bharathamani's Natya Shastra style. For that matter, all dances in Bharat are based on Natya Shastra, Bharathamani's text. Directly, indirectly, through modification, not through modification, whatever it is. The closest is from south, that is, I suppose, Tamil Nadu, Bharata Natyam, the name itself says. Now, the Manipuris are essentially Vaishnavites, and Vaishnavites, as you know, are the most peace-loving people. Like many Gujaratis are Vaishnavites, very peace-loving people. They are not hostile at all. In fact, hardly any Hindu is hostile until challenged, until he is compelled to become angry on very valid reasons, and then he will fight against adharma. When adharma comes, of course, Hindu is hostile. So, this Manipur again has some geographical difficulties. The Manipuris, original Manipuris, Meiteis, along with them, there are in different pockets in Manipur with multiple tribes. I don't know really their origin. Must have come from Tibeto-Burmese group, connected maybe with China. I'm not very sure. An anthropologist should be able to say. I haven't gone into that kind of studies. That's why. So there are Tankul Nagas and there are Kukis. Kuki name is given to this particular tribe. Mizo, some connection with Cheney, etc. The Kuki name is given to them by the British. There is no such otherwise original name as Kuki. They have a different type. Now, there was some problem between the Kukis and the Meiteis. Meiteis are the Manipuris, whom I told as Vaishnavites, and the Kukis. Vaishnavites, they are mostly Hindus. There are some Christians among them because missionary activities were very intense in Northeast, because it was easy for the Christian missionaries to convert the tribes who were Hindus per se, but had their own ways of looking at nature and worshipping. In the Hindu Dharma, all this worshipping nature, etc., comes under the main umbrella. So they could coexist with other Hindus in a very spontaneous, normal, natural way. They have their practices and their ways, which are not based on the Veda-Upanishadic philosophy. Knowledge tradition, of course, yes, but not directly on the philosophy. If it is on the philosophy, they will go for schools like, one of the Shakdarshanas influence, or the Guru Parampara influence, or of course any other kind of Hindu influences, etc. But they have not gone to that level of philosophical existence, but then they had the fundamental basic existence of the Hindu Dharma. So they are the Meiteis. Initially, it was natural for tribes to have conflicts one another in the ancient times. Sometimes in modern time also they used to have conflicts. Then of course others will intervene and make it settle it, and things used to go on. But recently, after the present government came into power, there were external agencies, obviously, and of course our people know it. The government of Bharat knows that there were external agencies who wanted the Northeast to be under insurgent activities. Insurgents, so that there will be no peace, law and order. Once there is no law and order, once there is conflict, it's easy for them to destabilize the nation. They wanted to begin from the Northeast. Many have tried to make the South and the North conflict possible, but it doesn't really work out because South Indians are great Hindus. So long as Hindu Dharma is virulent, it's not easy. There, of course, had been this Dravidiya movement and all kinds of things, but they are fundamentally great Hindus. And they have great temples. In fact, the greatest temples are in the south. So that, of course, is a very distant dream. Even this, they wanted to separate some pockets. Many agencies, one must be China, you can imagine, create some problems, and they think it is possible. But they know it's not possible. They also know there are sensible people among the external agency operators. They know that this can't work out, but for the time being, they can create some impacts, especially with some section of the opposition siding them, supporting them for their own foolish personal ends. I call it as foolish personal ends. So initially, when there were there were some problems between the Maitis and the Cookies, the opposition wanted to say it's a Hindu-Christian conflict. But then sensible people were writing and saying that there is no question of religious difference among them, because there are Christians among the Maitis and there are also non-Christians among the Cookies. If you don't want to call them as Hindus, at least they are original people, though the numbers may be very less. This, of course, had been the narrative thought, envisaged and propagated by the opposition leaders, especially the Congress people. They have done it. But now, after the Bangladesh incident, somebody got confident that they can do the same thing with Bharat also. And now this is very explicit. They started using drones as people use, as the Russia and Ukraine war, they are using drones. Drones is army is using, not common tribes people, not common people, not civilians. They were using drones to attack, and they were firing rockets. Recently they fired a rocket at a former chief minister of Manipur, his residence. And the priest who was performing a puja at that time is killed, and many people have injured. So now it is explicitly insurgency, anti-national activities supported by all the things Chinese make. Most of the weapons they are using are Chinese made. They are made available to them, and they are supported with what kind of supports this kind of people would need, like the Hamas. Who supports them? How can a group of people keep fighting with the mighty nation as Israel? There are people supporting. Similarly, there are people supporting the Manipur. But then the narratives of the opposition gets backfired, because now it is very clear it's not Hindu-Christian kind of conflict. They wanted to picture it like that. They wanted to create a narrative that the Hindu-Christian conflict, because they wanted to divide Bharat into religious lines, caste lines, language lines. Somehow they wanted to create divisions, and people like us are continuously against any kind of divisive thoughts. any kinds of separatist thoughts, because our philosophy is one that of coexistence. I always say the last sukta in the last mandala of Rigveda very strongly emphasizes this, that you stand together. Once you stand together, you'll go from strength to strength. That had been in our blood. So we transcend the petty differences, which are really peripheral. Now, but the opposition, the Congress-led group, especially with some very what you call in, of course, Bal Buddhi, as the Prime Minister Sahib himself said, at the top, trying to give ideas to people, they become a caucus, and they will do anything to propagate narratives concerning separatist thoughts and actions. Now, of course, they can't say it's a Christian-Hindu difference. Now they have to say there is it's something else, and this something else is supported by we know who. But the Congress-led opposition had to go stone silent. They are unable to react. They are unable to speak, and they are unable to do anything now. They are working hard to make some kind of reaction against it. Let them work, and we'll see them coming up with some funny things. So, this is one kind of insurgency, and today's Bharat knows how to deal with these things. We know who is doing what, and when time comes, when the time is appropriate, things will take place. Things will happen in its own way. Now, my question is very simple. Now, all those who are instrumental in creating these differences are also responsible for the impending death, as well as the already occurred deaths of the innocent people who believe them, who believe these people, storytellers, and listen to them, and the minds are filled with all kinds of emotions. We will fight, we will resist, we will do this. My God, they will die, their generations will suffer, the society will suffer, progress will be very badly delayed, their generations will suffer, and these people think that they can do something very great by doing this, and they also are conscious that they can at the end, on a final analysis, they will be doing nothing, because they will be able to do nothing. They can't do. Remember, this is a mighty nation with so many people. We know how to coexist with the multiple and plural. You do not have that kind of epistemology. Those who are behind it don't understand it. They do not have such epistemology, because they will always say, I am right and you are wrong. I am right and you are wrong is a kind of thought propagated to these people by these people, whereas we in the Rigveda are taught Egam Sat Viprabodha Vadanti. That's the one truth. Those scholars speak about it in multiple terms, multiple manner, multiple fashion, multiple language. We are taught that. So you don't understand the epistemology of coexistence. We are trained in the epistemology of coexistence. That's why you don't understand why we are together, but this is why we are together. You don't understand our epistemology. It's not available to you, and that is simple as that. So, as simple as that. So, we shall meet again with some other videos again. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat, and Jai Siya Ram.